All right, guys. So yesterday we talked about learning how to multiply a whole number times a proper fraction. And I hope you sing the song with me. Here we go. It goes, multiplying fractions ain't no problem. It's the top times the top and the bottom times the bottom. And remember, when we say the top times the top, all we mean is the numerator times the numerator. So the bottom times the bottom is the denominator times the denominator. But yesterday we had to do something a little bit different with those whole numbers because whole numbers don't naturally have a numerator. Or excuse me, they don't have a denominator. So we have to give them a denominator of 1. But today we're going to be looking at multiplying a proper fraction times a proper fraction. So a quick little recap on our proper fractions. Remember that a proper fraction has a small numerator and a big denominator, and they are less than 1. So all of our fractions today are already going to have a top and a bottom for us. So if I start with my first example, and I'm going to zoom in for our pterodactyl noise. There it goes. Okay, so my very first one says 2/5 times 1/4. So again, I already can do top times the top and the bottom times the bottom because both of my fractions here already have a numerator and a denominator. So I'm going to multiply straight across. So the top times the top, 2 times 1 would give me 2. And the bottom times the bottom, 5 times 4 would give me 20, which is still a proper fraction. So all I have to check and see is, can I simplify? So 2 and 20 do have a factor in common. They're both divisible by the number 2. So 2 divided by 2 would give me 1. 20 divided by 2 would give me 10. So I get a final answer of 1/10. Now, we're going to keep doing this, but I have a super secret math hack for you guys today. So I'm going to show you the super secret math hack on this next problem. So I actually want you to divide this in half. We're going to do it both ways. And I'm going to rewrite the problem both times just so I have some room here. So I have 1/3 times 6/8. And again, I'm going to rewrite it over here, 1/3 times 6/8. Okay, so when I look at this problem here, I know that I can just go ahead and multiply the top times the top and the bottom times the bottom. So for the top times the top, I have 1 times 6, which would give me 6. And for the bottom times the bottom, I have 8 times 3, which would give me 24. So again, still a proper fraction, but I do need to simplify. 6 and 24 have a factor, a common factor of actually 6. So 6 divided by 6 is going to give me 1, and 24 divided by 6 is going to give me 4. Okay, now this secret math hack that I'm going to teach you is called cross simplifying. So I do want you to write this down at the top with me. And let's break this apart and figure out what cross simplifying is. So let's start with cross. So normally when we simplify, we're simplifying top and bottom, numerator and denominator. But when we cross simplify, we are going to look at the numbers that are across or diagonal from each other. So in this example, 1 and 8, those are diagonal from each other. So I would look at those two to see if they have any factors in common. 1 and 8 don't have any factors in common. But if I look the other way, 3 and 6 are across from each other, and they do have a factor in common. Both 3 and 6 are divisible by the factor 3. So I have 3 divided by 3 would give me 1, and 6 divided by 3 would give me 2. So now it looks like 1 over 1 times 2 over 8. Which is a little weird, but I still have a top and a bottom, so I can still multiply. So I have 1 times 2, which would give me 2, and 1 times 8, which would give me 8. So see, still a proper fraction, but can I still simplify? Absolutely. So I have 2 and 8. They both have the factor 2 in common. So I have 2 divided by 2 would give me 1, and 8 divided by 2 would give me 4. So I get the same answer as even when I didn't cross simplify, I just straight up multiplied. So cross simplifying is not necessary, but when we start looking at bigger numbers, cross simplifying can be very, very, very helpful into just making some more manageable numbers. So if you see those factors, great, go ahead and cross simplify. But if you don't, that's okay too. You could still get the same answer. But just know that not every problem is going to have cross simplifying as an option. So if you're like, oh, I don't think I can cross simplify, you might not be able to, but it can just be a handy trick to make our lives a little bit easier. Okay, so I'm going to jump down and I'm going to do 3/8 times 4/9. So I like to cross simplify. So I'm going to look at my numbers that are across and I see 3 and 9, and they both have 3 in common. So 3 divided by 3 would give me, and I'm actually going to rewrite it down here, would give me 1. 9 divided by 3 would give me 3. But I also can cross simplify 4 and 8. They both have the factor 4 in common. So 8 divided by 4 would give me 2. 4 divided by 4 would give me 1. So I have 1 times 1 would give me 1, and 2 times 3 would give me 6. And I cannot simplify 1/6 anymore, so that's as small as I can make it. That is my final answer. All right, for this next one, 10/40 times 5/8. I want you guys to try this with the people sitting at your table. So if you will go ahead and pause the video, give the students about 3 minutes to solve this, and then press play so we can check. So I have 10/40 times 5/8. So I am going to cross simplify. If you did not cross simplify on yours, that is okay, as long as you end up with the same final answer as me. So I see that 10 and 8 have the factor 2 in common. So 10 divided by 2 would give me 5. 8 divided by 2 would give me 4. 5 and 40 have the factor 5 in common. So 5 divided by 5 would give me 1. 40 divided by 5 would give me 8. So 5 times 1 gives me 5. 8 times 4 would give me 32. And 5 is a prime number. 32 does not have a factor of 5, so 5/32 is as simple as I can make it. Okay, for the next two, I want you guys to also try these with the people sitting at your table. So please pause the video, give students about 4 minutes to try these two together, and then we will check. So again, I'm going to cross simplify. As long as you get the same answer as me, I am okay if you do not. So I see that 3 and 10 do not have anything in common, so I'm going to leave those alone. But 8 and 4 have the factor of 4 in common. So 8 divided by 4 would give me 1. Or excuse me, sorry, 4 divided by 4 would give me 1. 8 divided by 4 would give me 2. So when I multiply the top times the top, I get 3 times 2, which gives me 6. And the bottom times the bottom, 1 times 10 gives me 10. Now I can simplify 6/10. They both have the factor 2 in common. So 6 divided by 2 is going to give me 3. 10 divided by 2 is going to give me 5. So I get a final answer of 3/5. And then our very last one, I have 7/9 times 4/5. When I look, I can't simplify 7/5 7 and 5, and I can't simplify 4 and 9. So this is an example where cross simplification just doesn't work. I don't have that as an option. So I just need to multiply straight across. I have 7 times 4, which would give me 28, and 9 times 5, which would give me 45. Now, when I look at these two numbers, I don't see a factor that jumps out to me right off the bat. So I'm going to run through that list of, remember, our first 5 prime numbers, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, to see if maybe I can simplify by one of those. So I'm going to start with 2. I know I can do 28 divided by 2, but I can't do 45 divided by 2. So 2 is not an option. For 3, I know I can't do 28 divided by 3. I can do 45 divided by 3, but because I can't do both, 3 is not an option. For 5, I could do 45 divided by 5, but not 28 divided by 5. 7, I could do 28 divided by 7, but not 45 divided by 7. And neither of these numbers have a double digit like a 2, 2, or a 4, 4, so they are not divisible by 11. So it looks like 28/45 is as simple as I can make it.